Welcome. Thank you for joining us. You're watching Eye on Harvard, brought to you by InTimeTV. I'm Ogan Gurel. Eye on Harvard broadcasting worldwide, the world affecting Harvardians and Harvardians affecting the world. And today we have a very special show, a very special guest, David Wilhelm, known to many of you. Welcome, David.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. What's interesting, too, is I think some of the appeal, how else, I guess, would put it, of George Bush back in the first term was this concept, and I think that has been upturned, if you will, if I might be so bold as to say that he was going to bring people together and that sort of thing. I think it's a very appealing concept.
Right. One of the mysteries of the Bush presidency, I think, is how different his leadership style was as president from what evidently his leadership style was as governor of Texas, where he was known as a, more of a unifying figure, quite happy to work with people across the aisle, not particularly ideological in his approach.
So he wasn't necessarily dissembling when he said that when he was campaigning.
Well, right, and you know, when he ran on the phrase compassionate conservative, and you know, I think it worked in part because it was believable given his record in Texas. But man, oh man, he's run a different kind of presidency than the one that was advertised. But I do think coming off, you know, our most recent memory of the Bush presidency, which is one of, he's a divisive figure, he's an ideologically driven figure, he's not particularly interested in working with the other side. You know, man, wouldn't it be nice to have somebody that could actually get stuff done, is comfortable in their own skin and clear about what it is that they want to get done, but is more than happy to work with the other side to forge a coalition for change. And I think given the lesson of the Bush presidency staring us in the face and more staring us in the rearview mirror, I do think people are looking for a different, more calming, perhaps in some ways, but more unifying leadership style.
Collaborative.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is less to criticize President Bush, and in the sense that maybe it's changed or whatever, but actually to point out a point that to some extent a large portion of the population, Republicans and Democrats, back in 2000 were very accepting and embracing, if you will, of collaborative work.
Right, right.
Now, whether they got misled is another issue. But my point is that I don't think it's exclusive to Democrats. That may, in fact, be an appeal of Senator Obama to Republicans.
Right. Well, I think that's exactly right. I think the American people, look, most Americans are not particularly ideological. Most Americans, you know, do not wake up every day, you know, thinking, saying, how can I tear the, you know, Adam's apple out of my opponent? Most Americans are very practical. Most Americans simply want what's best for themselves, their families, their country, and I think most Americans are sitting here wondering, why in the world can't we get stuff done that is long overdue for being done? And they look to the role of special interests and they look at Washington and they see some of the partisan bickering, and I think they're just, I think they don't understand it. They don't get it. They want something new. They want something different. And I think the great appeal of Barack Obama's candidacy is precisely that. Frankly, I think the part of the appeal of John McCain is that as well, because he is viewed as a more independent-minded person. Yeah. So there is appeal in that as well. So
I guess the contrast, as it looks like it may come up between Obama and McCain, will be they're both outside, independent, but Obama's more collaborative potentially.
I think you may have something there.